come in the office to edit videos and do the work I needed to do. And the lockbox was jammed or frozen or something, and I couldn't get in. And I went in my car, and I sat there for an hour, and I thought about different ways to accomplish this. Should I go just film more content, and then I'll have more to edit later? Or should I go do X, Y, and Z in the meantime? Or I could go to the gym, or I could do something productive. So I sat there for like 30, 45 minutes, just kind of doing nothing. And I was like, fuck it. I want to get in that office so I can edit these videos because I'm inspired. So, in that 30, 45 minutes, I kept getting out to see if I could get in the lockbox every once in a while. But in between, I was on my phone. So then eventually I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go home. I'm going to boil some water. I'm going to put them in these canned things, and I'm going to put the water in the lockbox. So I went home, did that, took like 15 minutes. I come back to the lockbox, and I just push the button, and it just fucking opens. But then it gave me to this idea. This is how my mind works. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe other people think like this too. I was like, because this is a pattern I've noticed in things. This happened in my hot sauce business once. In my hot sauce business, I was not making no sales. I was struggling. So I was like, this one day I sat down. I was like, I'm going to sit here until I sell at least one bottle on the computer, on the internet. I don't know what I'm going to do. Am I going to DM people? Fuck it. I'm going to DM people. Am I going to post in Facebook groups? I'm going to do it. So I had this post that I was going to post in the Facebook group. And I sat there and I was like, do I want to post it? And I was like, fuck it, I'm posting this. I don't care. I'm making some sales today. I posted it and I did like $2,000 of sales in like a couple hours. And I hadn't barely made no sales at all. And why does that tie back into the lockbox? Because I went home to get the boiling water, to try to find a solution, to get in here, to get the shit done that I needed to get done. And even though I ultimately ended up doing nothing because I didn't need the hot water to open the box because it opened itself for whatever reason, it's almost like you get rewarded when you just try to do things. You just try. It's like you believe in your head and you're like, I'm going to do anything, something. And it just works out for you. I mean, there's so many times where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do, so I'm going to go there and sit where things happen and do this, and next thing you know, shit is kind of working out for you. I don't know, something good happens. I mean, there's 10, 20, 30 times that things like this has happened, and I don't have an explanation for it other than when you try, you give yourself the chance for things to happen. I can't say that message enough. If you just believe and try, good things can happen to you. The most interesting thing about me making content on the internet now is my origins. I initially was a bit socially awkward. Not like on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being autistic, 10 being Mr. Charismatic, I was probably like a 3.54. And on camera, I definitely was a 0.5. I despise cameras. I thought that was so weird. I did one simple thing to change that about myself, and it wasn't I learned to have this body language or use these focal tones or look people in the eyes like this. It was none of that. The one simple thing I changed was that, and it's going to sound cliche, is I got comfortable in myself. If I was with a group of people and they were talking about something that I didn't know what they were talking about, I didn't feel like I stopped feeling like I had to talk. I stopped feeling like I had to have something to say about everything. I stopped feeling like I was supposed to say this or do this like this or do that. I just embraced the idea that if I have something to say or engage in the conversation, I will. And if I don't, I don't. And it is what it is. And that simple thing is so interesting because in situations where I would be uncomfortable, I wouldn't know what to say, because I didn't care that I had to say something or feel like I had to present myself in this way, I could be myself and have unique things to say ultimately, which is so counterintuitive. I didn't feel the need to say something, so now I had something to say. Now I had interesting questions to ask. Now I had interesting inputs. And it's just fascinating because I feel like so many people we're stuck in that, where you feel like you have to present yourself such a way to people, but and it just holds you back from showing any genuine personal character or uniqueness about you, because you feel like you have to present yourself the way that you're supposed to. Now, the problem is, if you're in a corporate environment or you have a job, yeah, you're going to have to behave in such a way where whoever has authority over you deems respectable, because they're ultimately in charge of your financial situation. That's the real insecurity, if you peel all the layers back, why people do basically all the things that they do socially. But I just find it so interesting in my personal development that I stopped feeling like I needed to present myself a certain way, or I stopped I stopped thinking that I needed to be a certain kind of way to be cool. And then all of a sudden, people started gravitating towards my perspectives and my energy and the way I talk to people and the way I carry myself, and people thought I was unique. And that's so, it's just fascinating how it did a full 360. It did a full 360. I went from socially awkward to charismatic-ish, you know? And I didn't change anything. I didn't learn a secret. I didn't take some weird communication class. I didn't watch videos on how to talk to this person and things like that. But I got comfortable in myself. And it's amazing what you can accomplish.